More than half of the urban labor force in low and middle income countries is either self-employed or works in a very small business. And so because these firms, these enterprises, dominate the landscape in urban areas, we want to understand what can we do to make them grow? What can we do to increase incomes of the owners of the small businesses? We were interested in understanding the marginal returns to capital. If these firms invested, these enterprises invested a little more money, how much would their income go up? Turns out this is a pretty difficult question to answer with observational data, with data that we just take from surveys. Even when we have panels of firms, lots of things can happen across time to individual firms that we don't measure in the data. So working with David McKenzie and Suresh Demel, initially we did a project in Sri Lanka where in a very simple and straightforward design, we just gave people cash grants. On average, when firms invest an extra $100 in the business, they earn $6 more per month, so a return of 6% monthly. This is much higher than interest rates they earn on savings. It's also higher than interest rates they would pay on loans, on small scale loans. What are the prospects of growth of these micro enterprises? What we find is that firms increase in profits, but they step up a level, and rather than changing the dynamics, they just step up a level. That is, we don't see sustained growth from the enterprises. We don't see them increasing employment. We don't see them growing in scale. Most of the small-scale enterprises don't have prospects for lots of growth. And if we want to think about dynamic small-scale enterprises, we need to think about how we select those out of the broader population, how we think about segregating the enterprises with growth potential from those that are subsistence enterprises. I think our research shows that those that are subsistence enterprises, there's still the prospect of increasing incomes, and that can be quite important for what are, on the whole, quite poor households. But if we want to think about dynamics in generating growth, we have to think about perhaps a different set of policies, but also a different selection mechanism where we identify enterprises with the highest potential for growth.